The Stamp Tramp is the seventh episode of the eighth season of the CBS sitcom How I Met Your Mother, and the 167th episode overall. Plot: Marshall reports to the gang that he chanced upon his old law school classmate Brad while going to work. Noting that Brad has been a bum for the past 2 years, Marshall decides to recommend him to his bosses as an associate partner. The gang is displeased with what Marshall did because he always gives stamps of approval to everyone and everything that comes his way. Lily notes that this has already earned him the ire of a senior partner, Mr. Honeywell, after treating his colleagues to food from a restaurant with unsanitary health ratings. She warns him that this could even affect his performance in the case against Gruber Pharmaceuticals. In fact, Mr. Honeywell is not impressed with Brad's attitude and later removes Marshall from the case, but he gets back with Ted and Lily's help. Taking off from Marshall's story of stamping approvals, Ted tries to dispel Lily's claim that he has never sealed his own stamp of approval and piggybacked on everybody else's ideas. He pulls out his old video diary tapes from college to prove a point. Lily is touched when she sees one video entry where Ted approved of her as Marshall's potential soulmate after they went out on their third date. Barney has discovered that his ex-fiancée copyrightee, Quinn, has returned to stripping at the Lusty Leopard. Since appearing there would make things awkward for both of them, Barney decides to find a new strip club. Soon enough, numerous strip clubs woo him over even as a Lusty Leopard employee begs him to stay. Barney is one of the club's most loyal patrons. When Robin suggests further options, Barney lets her negotiate with the strip clubs. Her dealing results in Barney being the next patron of the seniors' joint Golden Oldies. He fires Robin when he learns that the strip club, which both he and she earlier rejected, bribed her with gifts. They reconcile by getting drunk at Barney's new strip club, the Mouth Beach, which he announces at McLaren's. Barney and Robin reflect on what happened and he kisses her. She momentarily returns it but soon rebuffs him and leaves. At the hearing, Marshall and Mr. Honeywell are stunned to see Brad among Gruber's lawyers. The company, which had actually hired Brad during those 2 years he told Marshall he was unemployed, planted him as a bum to spy on the law firm. Honeywell warns Marshall that he will be fired if Gruber, now well informed of the plaintiff's battle plan, wins the case. Future Ted says there will be more of the case later. Music: Dishwaller, Counting Blue Cars. Barney's blog: Barney discusses the 5 other strip clubs in the running and details why they did not make his cut. Cultural references: Ted claims that Dr. X promoted the band Dishwaller back in college, especially their hit single Counting Blue Cars. Robin compares Barney's pursuit of a new strip club to LeBron James' decision special, right down to his formal announcement. Ted says the Caves are a better team without James. Marshall retorts that LeBron has moved on and he should too. Ted claims his mother enjoys watching a movie only if Richard Dreyfuss is in the cast. Lily states Ted just started doing video diaries because of Winona Ryder's character in the film Reality Bites. When strip club offers came to Barney, the first businessman tries to apply sabermetrics on average strippers in a similar way to Jonah Hill's character in the film Moneyball with veteran baseball players' statistics. The businessman also looks like Hill physically. Because of his small stature, Brad repeatedly calls Mr. Honeywell Bilbo. Mr. Honeywell and Brad are graduates of Holy Cross. In the video diary, Ted and his dorm mates are eating a sandwich. Critical reception: the episode received mixed reviews. Todd Van Der Werf of the AV Club graded the episode at B, writing that in general the show really does feel like a story that's kept going past its sell-by date, but that this episode is one of the better half hours of the season, though it still features some of the show's recent comedic problems. He also noted that the story involving Marshall elevates this episode from merely pleasant to downright enjoyable. Hilary Bizis of Entertainment Weekly described the plot involving Barney and Robin as silly, and the story involving Ted and Lily as sweet. With the story involving Marshall she commented that the return of Brad to the show was a reason to be excited. Phoebe Riley of Vulture.com reported that she had nothing but praise for the episode because it had a solid driving device, memorable callbacks, and even a twist that we didn't see coming, referring to Brad working for Gruber. she noted that it's hard to add plausible dimensions to old characters, so unregistered trademark S being a piggyback stamper really got us, because this didn't feel like a tacked-on trait. On the other hand, Michael Arbiter of Hollywood.com said that the episode doesn't offer much. He describes the Barney and Robin plot as having a vial of energy that is almost bone dry, and as nonsense, without so much as a single solid joke. Even the kiss at the end he calls sudden, lazy, and unsurprising. With Brad and Marshall he writes that in exchange for an easy plot twist, they sell old Brad's character down the river. He says that no plotline is ever utterly useless, but Ted's story this week is the closest thing to it. Ethan Alter of Television Without Pity gave the episode a C, saying that overall it was a moderately funny episode that was largely a time waster that didn't advance the overarching plot in any significant way, although lately the overarching plot has been terrible. He says the Barney and Robin story has a belabored setup leading to a dated pop culture joke. He says that Ted's story this week is not much of a plot, although Dow J. College Ted is one of the few remaining reliable sources of humor that this show has left. Max Nicholson of IGN gave the episode a score of 5.3/10, saying it was pretty drab, but noticeably more tolerable than before, and still generally lacking in overall entertainment value. He wrote that the episode featured a nice arc for Ted, and that college Ted and Marshall are almost always good for a laugh. He commented that Brad's return wasn't all it was cracked up to be, as the show sullied a once-liked character by turning them into someone else completely. He said that the Barney and Robin plot was the most ludicrous and least inspired storyline. References. External links: The Stamp Tramp at the Internet Movie Database.